Hello everybody, this is for question 10 from chapter 10, which reads off, describe the stages of team development. How would you facilitate a team's development through each stage? Well, if you look at the textbook reading for this week, it does outline team development in 5 stages, which are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. First 4 rhyme, last one doesn't. You can see from reading in the textbook from this week that each of them have some overlap, but they differ in each their own way as you transition from one stage to another. In team development, in the forming stage, it reads off that it's an orientation / breaking the ice. That's how it's described there in the textbook. Storming is described as conflict / disagreement. Norming is described as establishment of order / cohesion. And performing is cooperation, problem solving, and adjourning is task completion. You can see that there in the textbook. Going through each stage, you want to have a nice orientation, introduce everybody. From there, there might be some conflict, disagreement as it describes in the textbook. You want to kind of smooth that over. It's a natural part of working in a group. Everyone has their own different personalities and perspectives. In the norming stage, you can see it says establishment of order / cohesion. The team really has to come together. As a leader, you really have to, navigate that and promote, tranquility and, people working together despite conflicts and disagreements. Then we go to performing, which is listed here as cooperation, problem solving in the textbook. You really have to perform. The group is there for a reason. So, you do have to, come together and, perform and do the tasks. And then the last step, adjourning, described there as task completion in the textbook. Completing the task. Once the task is completed, people separating their own ways, which can be difficult for everybody who's come so close together these past couple, whatever it is, weeks, months, years. So those are the stages of team development as described in the textbook in this year's reading. All right, question 11 for chapter 11 reads, discuss ways in which low power distance as a social value among followers could affect their interaction with leaders who display a high power distance. This, prop for this could be, two different like sports teams, right? If you're a player on, let's say, the Dallas Cowboys, or compared to a player on the, Phoenix Cardinals, two teams, right? The same kind of thing, but they could have different power distance in regards to interactions with leaders and that nature. Perhaps you have a, lineman coach who's very close to his players, good friends, they go out for drinks, stuff like that, good friends. Another one, it's very hierarchical. It's very much, them being the senior, them being the junior. So it really depends. In the reading, we can see it also differs, in real life here by country. You can see here some countries, they outline Malaysia and the Philippines as having high power distance, and Denmark and Austria as having low powers of distance. It is going to be some difference, between the two. If you're used to having a low power distance and all of a sudden you're in a high power distance, it could be kind of a shock. And the other way around as well. I know if I've been at companies where there have been, high power distance, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, you have to approach from a different way than the companies have been at. There's been a low power difference. So it's really just adapting to those, recognizing that, this is the way things work here. Perhaps it's different from where I have been previously, people's own leading examples, company culture, things like that. Is this a high power distance organization or low power distance organization? I'm sure you can catch on pretty quick from seeing how things go there regarding culture and norms, stuff like that at the company. So definitely things to, keep in mind as a leader when, in an organization.